So, out here in the intertidal zone, doing a little bit of poke pulling once again. I got my cut bait. It's in 1-inch sections. It's in my net here. That way, if a fish decides to steal my bait, I can just rebait and drop it right back in there. I also recommend keeping a few extra hooks in your pocket, and that way, if you end up bending a hook, you can just throw one right back on there and get right back to it. So to bait this, I run the hook through once, turn it, and then run it right back through again. I want to make sure that the point of the hook is exposed. Right here I got about a 100-pound leader and only about an inch between the end of the poke pole and the hook. I want a short leader, that way I can get way back in really small diameter caves, because it doesn't take a big cave, as long as it's elongated, for a big eel to be hanging out. See a nice shelf right here. This is the first spot I'm going to check. It's a little bit high in the intertidal. If it ends up bottoming out, then I'm going to move out a little further. So I'm just gently probing, and I want to see if it goes back in there. If it doesn't go back in there, then it's not really worth spending much time. Yeah, so this one bottoms out. It looks like a lot of gravel and sand has kind of gone blasting into there. That means that it's very unlikely for that cave to continue in any one direction, because sand has kind of jam-packed back in there. So I want to find a rock stacked on other rocks that has a nice void underneath it that we call houses or caves. So let's go take a look. And as I'm walking out here, I don't want to step up on rocks like this. Any kind of angle with seaweed on it is going to be super slippery. So instead, step down at the base. That way it's nice and locked in and gravity's working for you. Move slow. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. That's how we keep from falling. I was just about to walk past and then I saw this hole here, so I'm going to try down in there as well. If it goes back in there, then it's got good potential. Bottoming out a little bit shallower than I would like. Oh, there you go, there you go. What do we got? Just a baby, just a baby. All right, well, there's no size limit on these guys. This is a grass rockfish, but I'm gonna toss him back. He's just a little baby. We want him to get bigger and reproduce. Go on, buddy. Right back in the same hole. And we get to keep our bait. So all I've done at this point is just worked my way along this shelf, and I'm just trying to see if there's any voids, any houses that may have a fish that are home when I knock on the door. I also really recommend you keep a net on you. That way you're ready to land the fish. Sometimes, especially with eels, because they flip around like crazy, you go to net them. If you don't have a net, you pull them out of the water, you get super excited, and then they throw the hook and they're gone. As soon as they hit the water, even if it's a few inches, got another hit. All right, every once in a while, I'll bring the poke pole back out to check my bait, make sure he hasn't stolen it. And if it's still on there, I go right back. You notice I've got a very light touch here. Very light touch with the poke pole. Oop, there is a bite. And that way I can feel the bites. All right, he's on. Oh, all right, a little rockfish. That's another grassy. We're gonna let this guy go too. This one has a big fat belly, so it's probably a she and pregnant. So let's get that hook out of her mouth. Actually, this is a black and yellow. Oh yeah, and it is pregnant. You can see she's got eggs here, so we're gonna let her go. Right back where she was. Still, pretty cool action. 2 rockfish already. That one bottomed out, so we're moving. All right, let's try this cave here. Oh, that's a little bite, a little guy. Oh yeah, it's a decent sized rockfish just came out of there, but she was a pregnant black and yellow, so we're gonna let her go too. But what about down in this hole? Anybody home? I don't know if you guys saw that fish. Oop, there's another. Look at all these hits. Tug, tug, tug. This guy might not be that big. We'll see. But this is definitely a different fish. I just watched the female swim right over in here. Ah, we got a crab. So the rule is you can't keep crab on a hook and line, so we're just gonna dangle, not shake. Let her hang out. This is a female and she's undersized. But if you don't shake it and you just let it dangle over the water, they'll let go. Getting some nibbles. Didn't feel very big though. Yeah. Get way back in there. Ooh, I like how deep this hole's going. This is good. This is very good. All right, it's gonna be worth spending a little time here. Got something. It's an eel. Nice. Into the net, into the net. This is the hardest part. Excellent. That's another tip for you newbies. Once you get this into the net, make sure you close that net up, and you want to get it into the net as soon as possible. Come check out this eel. So I got a nice big flat rock here where I can deal with it. Bring them on out to show you. That's a monkey face prickleback. Not the biggest eel I ever caught, but he'll do. All right, ease up, buddy. I'm going to show you how to dispatch him and how to clean him. So what I do is I grab the eel in the net. I want to grab it right behind the pectoral fins. And this is the quickest way to kill an eel. It's a little graphic, a little brutal, but I want you folks to know how to do this. Right through the gills, right through the heart, and then I go through the spine. Once I go through the spine, technically he's paralyzed. Then I flip him on his side, right behind the eye, into the brain. And that's it. He's dispatched, totally humane. And that's the way you kill a monkey face prickleback. And I do it this way because they're adapted to have cobbles rolled over them in the intertidal. They're adapted to get slammed on big days. So unlike a trout where you can just bop it in the head, or even a salmon, you can bop in the head with a rock. If you hit these guys, they have a ton of flesh and padding all over their head, and it's actually angled like this. The rock's just gonna glance off and it's not gonna do anything. It's a very inhumane kill, but this, very quick, right through the heart, right through the gills, right through the spine and spinal cord, which paralyzes it, and then immediately into the brain. And I don't go with the knife into the brain first because even when they're dead, they move. So if you go into the brain with a knife, all of a sudden it's gonna come alive like crazy, and you've got a knife sticking out of the side of this very tough skull, and you could get really, really cut. Well, maybe I can catch one more and release it. Yeah, you can see this big rock right here looks just perfect. It's got a big hole, or it's got a little entry hole right here, big enough for rockfish and eels, but it's a nice elongated rock, so, and it's stacked on boulders. So it looks like those holes go way underneath, which is awesome. That's what we want. Look at that, getting bites, getting bites. Is he on? He's on, he's on. Look at this. Ho, 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 ho. Beautiful, look at that eel. Got him. Look at the size of this guy. Boom, he is so much bigger than the other one. Make a cut, now he's free. I set my hook down and I'm gonna let this guy go. Bye, buddy. Man, what a cool fish. I absolutely love monkey face pricklebacks. They're so rad.
The easiest way to fillet a monkey-faced eel is to nail it to a plank. I know, sounds kind of hillbilly, but trust me, it works. I start near the collar and I work my way down, keeping my fingers in the gut cavity, which keeps the gut pushed towards the top of the gut cavity and allows me to just sever the skin right around the belly. The only part where I really cut in is right around the vent here, and this allows me to remove the guts without ever rupturing them. I always give it a solid rinse in salt water, and that way it's nice and clean even if I were to nick the gut, because their guts can smell bad when cut.
All right, so we're back at camp, and now I want to show you the most effective way to fillet an eel. One of those other pitfalls is I see a lot of people who don't know what to do with the eel once they catch it.
Now, to fillet an eel, I start up near the head and I work my way down the dorsal fin. I'll flip it around and start from the tail, working my way back up. They're basically mirror images. I'm just slicing down, peeling the meat back, and I'm working my way right along the bones. All of the bones are going to travel in pretty much the same direction. I leave that tail skin connected, and it's all the same up until this point. I kind of rock my knife right through here, through the rib cage area, because it doesn't actually have ribs. It has vestigial bones because it's evolved away its ribs. Sever up near the collar, sever down near the base there, and that right there is a 100% boneless fillet. Repeat the process on the other side and you'll be left with a carcass that has almost no meat left on it. You can see right through it. Now I tack the fillet right back to the board. I'm going to pull on the skin, keeping it taut, and I'm going to run my blade between the skin and the meat, and this allows me to free the meat up. Today we're keeping it simple and we're making yakisoba. This is something my dad used to make for us when we would go on deer hunting trips. I'm going to start out with this new knife, crushing some garlic. The knife was sent out to me by my friends Taku and Jocelyn from Outdoor Chef Life. Crushing up that garlic, chopping some onion, and this knife is going right through it like a hot knife through butter, or onion. Anyway, and today I've got a secret ingredient. These are wild foraged oyster mushrooms that I found right at the end of the season out in the Central Valley. Some of my favorites. I sauteed and froze these so that I could use them today. I'm cutting that eel into about 1 to 2 inch chunks, dusting it in cornstarch, and then this is going right into the fryer. Look at that oil. Doesn't that make you so happy? Anyway, I'm going to throw all these in there and I'm going to fry these until they're golden brown, and of course, chopsticks, the right tool for the job. Now once I've removed my eel and I've taken all that oil back out, I'm going to throw just a little bit of oil back in and go in with my onions, and I'm going to saute those around until they're nice and golden brown, and then I'm going in with all those mushroom chunks. I'm also going to add a little bit of garlic, a little bit of water in here to deglaze the pan, and then in goes these instant noodles. Now those noodles are pretty much already cooked, so they only need to go in the pan for about 2 minutes. It makes the whole thing come together really quickly. There's a couple of flavor packets. You throw that in there. It coats everything with this beautiful sauce. Make sure it's all nice and mixed up. Add your golden brown eel back in there and give that a second stir so that all of those beautiful chunks of golden brown eel are also coated in that delectable sauce, and you're good to go. That's a lot of food right there. Got my other secret weapon here. This was part of my care package from Taku and Jocelyn. This is their Outdoor Chef Life collaboration with Barnacle Foods Chili Kelp Crisp. Super good chili oil. And he sent it to me the other day and I was like, oh, that's great because I actually just ran out. Look at this beauty. Yes. Yeah, baby. I don't even know what I want to go for first. I'm going for the eel first, even though those mushrooms look amazing. Look at that. Wow. Perfectly golden brown, beautifully crispy on the outside, but just soft enough now that it's soaking up all the flavor. It's such a good fish, such a versatile fish. Beautiful oyster mushroom. I love eel, but that mushroom is outstanding. So this is the interior oyster mushroom, similar to that variant that we find on the coast, but the variant on the coast is much more subtle. This is meaty, super chewy, and just, I mean, great texture, very earthy flavor. It's a substantial mushroom. When you find it, you're impressed, and when you cook it, it doesn't really shrink. It's like, that's one of my favorite mushrooms in the entire state. Wow. All right, noodles with a bunch of chili kelp crisp on there. Taste of childhood. I'm gonna polish this off. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a few things. If you did, please give me a like, leave a comment. I love hearing back from you. Consider subscribing, sharing, and all that good stuff. And until next time, keep the old ways alive.
Pretty sure my GoPro wasn't on for the catch. Man, YouTube's tough that way.